Hello, everyone. My name is Courtney James, and this is Patrick Cruickshank, the CEO and Director of 9 Mile Metals. And we are coming to you from PDAC here in Toronto. So just excited to be here. It's been exciting for Patrick and I to have a chance to catch up one-on-one again.
Yes, lots of news, lots of things happening, lots of activity at Camp New Brunswick.
Yes, lots to dive into. So we're going to chat a little bit about the news release that came out and where we're going to be over the next couple of days.
Yeah.
So you have put out some pretty big news about the Wedge Drill program and hitting 134 meters of mineralization. So I was just hoping you could talk a little bit about that and what that means.
Sure. As the press release states, we're pretty excited about it. Historically, if you remember our mandate was to try to prove the Wedge mine historically has a lot more life in it, and the footprint is much bigger. So we have our target area 1, which is southeast of the historic mine, and target 2 area, which is northwest. The original mine is in the middle and kind of goes west. That's how they mined it. And then we also wanted to test how deep it goes. Mm-hmm. So I think the first 2 holes can pretty much confirm that the new area, the east, obviously has a lot of ore with 134 meters of continuous mineralization. And we didn't go down as far as we really want to, but we've left all the holes capped to re-enter later, because what we're trying to do is prove out footprint, not just depth.
Right.
So once we can re-enter all those holes, we've capped and left the casing in. So yeah, we're pretty excited about that. And obviously that was hole 2. And we're on hole 3, moving east in target 1 to keep showing it's bigger.
And with these ones, it's the luxury of nice shallow holes, unlike some of the ones that we were drilling before. You were looking at that was a huge undertaking to get down. The ground would get harder. This one is an easier and more efficient
deeper,
program.
The harder to keep it on track. These are nice and shallow and really affordable. We can do many more of them.
Okay.
So we're working east on target 1. And we're staying there for a little bit longer before we test the depth under the original Wedge mine. Now the challenge will be, we know for a fact that the lower levels of the Wedge mine were never mined.
Right.
Because the pillar collapsed. So, and we have a challenge, technically, if we drill into a void, it can obviously damage the rig, damage the drill bit, because there's no water. If the water goes into an open cavern, like where it was mined out, there's no water keeping the drill bit cool, so you got to stop. So we've got those kind of challenges as well, because we don't know what the underground looks like. So we're concentrating right now on areas we know that are new drill holes, because we have been lucky enough to acquire all the old historic drill holes. So that's a big game changer, and we didn't have that before the program. We got that during hole 1.
Right.
So we've hired a company now to model 3D all the old drill holes, surface and below ground.
Okay.
So that will give us our picture, and we'll add in our holes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a big game changer for us. But already getting 134 meters east of the mine in solid core is very exciting for proving our footprint.
Yeah. And then I also know that you mentioned that some of the data that helped lead you to this, can you talk a little bit about how you accessed that and how that helped you pinpoint this location?
Yes. Well, everybody seems to go back and look at the old historic workings, and they try to copy it and all that. That's not what we're doing. So if everyone remembers, our big technical partner is EarthEX. And if you look at our map, our target area map, that is their reprocessed data that gives us our targets. On top of that, more importantly, their drone and their technology gives us the late time strong conductor axis, which is the red line. And that is the strongest conductive response, late time, which means if you charge the ground, it holds that charge the longest.
Okay.
And we believe, and EarthEX and the geophysicists believe, that is the sulfides that holds the charge. If you think of a solid brick like a closed electronic loop, it holds that longer. Now, if it's vein-based or whatever, the signal gets broken and it discharges earlier. So for gold, you look for early time, and for VMS, you look for late time. And we drilled right on that. We're following that red axis, knowing historic information, but not letting the old information lead us. So we're drilling new areas. That's what our southeast and northwest is, because the mine goes from northeast to southwest. We're like opposite, perpendicular. We're drilling like the X.
Right.
So this we know is new.
Okay.
New area, and we are proving out the footprint. So a couple more holes, and we'll be very happy explorers.
Very exciting stuff. And
Yeah.
with these 3D models, will those be something that we'll be able to share when they get
Yeah, it'll be a living model.
Okay, cool.
With all the drill holes, the assays, and so on. The only thing is we still don't have any old core.
Yeah.
We don't have the images of the underground workings and levels and stuff, but we do have the drill logs.
Okay.
Which is really going to be helpful.
Yeah.
For phase 2. Won't really help us now. It takes about 6 weeks to 8 weeks to model this out and digitize it and create the 3D models. But once we have that, we'll add our holes that we're doing now, and we will have a picture of where the mineralization, that lens is, or multiple lenses. So that's pretty exciting.
And what should we be looking forward to in phase 2?
Phase 2 is when you bring in because remember, the whole Western portfolio, we never flew the drone.
Right.
It's all been reprocessed geophysics. So now that we will have our new footprint, and hopefully it's how big we think it is. Then we'll bring in the drone and we'll do some geophysics and maybe some gravity, because we will have a pretty much picture of what's been drilled underground and what's hit and create an actual lens, but it still doesn't show us new lenses and stuff like that. So we need to get a little bit more there, and the gravity will show us, because it's not that deep. We're talking up to 600 meters.
Right.
So we're pretty excited of extrapolating and making that much bigger program.
Amazing. Well, I am very much looking forward to hearing what comes next. I know this news that just came out was really exciting, and it's cool to get a bigger understanding and visual kind of what we're looking at there. Yeah,
and again, trying to show that it's size and scale, and there's a lot of life left in it, and new, and the technology is going to bring us there. I wish Gary was here, but we're not allowed to leave him get out of the warehouse and stay there drilling and do all that, and just give us our updates. But we're very excited to continue the program. We're trying to get as many holes in. Now, the access still hasn't changed out there, so we're still at the Wedge mine and number 1 and number 2, and we are going to test the depth under the old lens, which is going to be exciting. We still can't get the target 3, 4, or 6. So I know some people were asking and commenting. I mean, can we get in there now? Everything seems to be melting, and it's like not New Brunswick. It was minus 20 the other day when I left there.
No way.
So super cold, and the drillers and your best friend is the car heater and the truck heater and the mitts and your thermals and everything. So
perfect. Well, I know that you're going to be kicking around here in Toronto for another couple of days, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. So
we're getting more updates. The program's still going. I mean, that put us a little bit behind in our reporting, because it's a good thing, 134 meters versus 10 meters. But we did XRF a small section. I just want to make sure everybody understands that was a random section. Yeah. Wasn't cherry picked. I know there's better sections from the XRF, but when we were there, as the cutter's going full time, that was the section that came out. Right. And that's what we did, that 15 meters, or else it would take weeks to XRF the whole 134, and by that time everything's backing up. So I wanted to make sure that was crystal clear, and we posted the XRF on that, and really excited with the copper, and we're finding it's high-grade zinc, high-grade copper, and not sure on the relation yet, but that's what the modeling will help us, and the geophysics. So and we're still waiting on the 54 meters on hole 1 to come back from the labs. We rushed those. We rushed these, and hopefully the cutter's cutting right now on hole 3. So perfect. Well, that's great to hear. You'll be around for a couple more days. So if anyone is down in Toronto and has some questions, Patrick or myself will be
kicking around. And
Absolutely.
yeah, happy to talk about this project. I know we always get to talk about it with each other, but it's always fun to be able to talk about it to other people too. So Patrick, thank you for giving me a little
rundown. Thank you very much.
rundown.
We're very excited today to share the news.
Perfect.
Okay.